Sometimes it's not about the law, it's about who's talking.
Yeah.
So who will be his lawyers? Maybe he has that mouthpiece on him
Yeah.
and he can lower it down. Not saying they might say he's bipolar.
Yeah. They might lower it down from 250 to 150 years, but this guy, this guy is going under the jail, man.
Do you think, RJ, will they take it to trial? Will they do a Tory Lanes or YSL?
Yeah, they're gonna take it to trial. They're going to they're gonna take it to trial. So I guess your question is whether they will settle he will settle or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're probably gonna take it to trial and settle before the trial ends
Hmm.
because the evidence is there. You know? The question is the only problem is, let's say if they're negotiating, the prosecutor's not gonna care too much about mental health. And if that's what Sam wants to bank on, pun intended, then he would need to go to, continue with the court case. But his position is very, very, very bad because he's the one responsible. And if they are willing to, if the prosecutor was willing to cut a deal with Caroline, his girlfriend, someone from the inner circle who knew Sam, both on a, let's say, intimate personal level as well as as well as the business aspect of Sam's life.
Mhm.
If they're willing to cut a deal with her and with the other co-founder Wang, then they want to see blood, and Sam is the one will be the sacrificial lamb. So he's not. He might get a deal, but he's not getting out that easily. The more he can give back, the less time. So the more leverage he would have. So if he can bring back, now they're at 10%, I think. If he can make 50% appear, then his negotiation position would be better because that would mean that the damages would be less.
Well, someone backdoored 2 billion, right? Or 500 million. So that's also where is that?
Yeah.
Guess we'll never know. I
Yeah.
guess we'll never know.
And he might say, yeah, I didn't know about it, but as a co-founder and one, let's say, as the co-founder and as someone with his level of power and influence within FTX, he was responsible. So it's not necessarily that he. So the judge will not only look and see if he was the one who actually made the money disappear, but would also look at who's responsible for having the right structure in place. And as if you're the one running the show, then you're the one responsible. And if you're the one running the show and you fail to put a corporate structure in place, then you need to carry the consequences thereof.
Yes, definitely. So, guys, let us know what you think about this. Will it make the trial? Will there ever be a trial, or will they settle?
Yeah.
Will they settle?
Yeah.
Or this is all part of a big.
It's all part of the plan.
Maybe if you look at the statistics as well, KR, when you see that let's say on average 60%, I think it's safe to say like 60% of people they interviewed uh, on average thought that he would get sentenced. I think about 10 to 12% thought that he would not get sentenced. And somewhere in the middle, you had like a 30% of people who thought that he would get sent, or at least that didn't know whether or not he would get sentenced. Curious to know that as well, uh, both from you, but also from our followers and our listeners and our watchers and our subscribers and our supporters, whether they believe that Sam will get sentenced, and if so, how severe would that sentence be?
I think you pointed out someone has to be the sacrificial lamb. And in this case, it will probably be Sam. I think he'll definitely get 20% of the 25% of what of the total, probably. But then again, the problem with that is I would have to see the the what kind of with what kind of evidence they will show up, because as we and like you said, RJ, sometimes it's not about the law, it's about who's talking.
Yeah,
So who will be his lawyers? Maybe he has that mouthpiece on him
yeah,
and he can lower it down. Not saying they might say he's bipolar.
yeah. They might lower it down from 250 to 150 years, but this guy is going under the jail, man.
Uh,
No.
we'll see. We'll see. I do think he will get at least 25%.
Yeah, so in these type of cases, white collar crime cases, they often always go to the head. They go for the head. If it's like someone working in a bank who made some transactions to his own account and you can prove it, then that would be different. You know,
Mm.
in this case, we're not talking about an employee who did something wrong. We're talking about the whole policy of a company, the whole structure of a company.
That is true. That is
So,
true.
so
Was built on. It was built to. It
yeah,
was built for fraud.
yeah. And there's a
Yeah,
rule,
you're right.
there's a saying in law, because sometimes people will say, "Yeah, I didn't know that." But in law, we say there's a principle: everyone is considered to know the law, and with that, it's not necessary. I mean, you should interpret it in a broad way.
Mm.
So not that everyone knows it in their head or by their heart or by heart, but it's more you are expected to seek out advice to do it in the right way.
Mm.
So the law does not protect you from your own ignorance. So even if he says, "Yeah, I didn't know," I can see him getting it lowered to, let's say, the sentence lowered to something.
So we'll never see him again.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. Maybe we will see him again. Not well. We're seeing him now. I say after after he gets put in jail, I think we will not see him for a while, but they will try to get him out on parole or early release, something like that,
Mm,
based on other reason. But the question is, what is sooner? If he gets sentenced to 150 years jail time and he gets out after 50, it's still, I think he's gonna spend a majority of the rest of his life in prison.
in prison.